Jason Segel desperately wants Harrison Ford's approval. I am doing those
I
scenes
gotcha.
just in the back of my heart, hoping that when they say cut, Harrison Ford says good job. And God damn it, someday it'll happen.
I'm Jonatan Blomberg, writing for Movies in Sweden.
Cool.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. And now when I'm being able to speak with you, of course.
Oh, thank you.
So I can maybe start out saying that I've seen the first 4 episodes, of course, and
Cool.
I like what I've seen so far.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and I also want to to take this time to say that I really liked Dispatches from Elsewhere.
Oh, hey, thanks. That means the world to me.
Yes, so like a huge fan of that show, and I actually, since in Sweden we don't have AMC, so I had to wait a bit longer to get it here. So I saw it almost at the same time as Bo Burnham's Inside.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was a trippy month for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I bet. Oh, well, cool. Hey, thanks for that compliment. Yeah, that show meant the world to me.
Yeah, I could tell, and I rewatched it since, and I don't do that often since I watch a lot of shows during
Yes,
these.
wow. Hey, you've made my day. Thanks.
So back to to this show. How did I know that Brett and Bill had kind of this like this idea brewing in the back of their minds for a while,
Yes.
and then but they always had you in mind for the lead role. So how did they actually pitch this to you, and how did it end up becoming afterwards, like the thing we actually get to see now?
Well, Bill had reached out to me a couple years ago and said that he wanted to try to find a show to do together.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched me a couple along the way. But I'm actually really particular about what I do on the comedic side. I really like exploring on the drama side. Comedy, I think I have a very, very particular view of and respect for. And it is particularly hard for me to choose a comedy, especially if I haven't written it. All
So
modesty
you
aside.
said I won't do Ted Lasso. I won't.
Well, listen, having Bill be the guy who was pitching me these ideas was the thing that gave me comfort. And having seen Ted Lasso as well, being like, oh, this guy has a point of view on comedy that I align with and I think is excellent. And so when he and Brett pitched me this idea, I felt like, okay, I'll go on this journey with these guys. Let's see where it ends up. I think one of the shared points of view we had was that the best version of comedy is the tone of life. This kind of prime James Brooks era where you're laughing through tears and vice versa, where all of these emotions are mixed. And so that's sort of what we were shooting for with the show.
Yeah, and having watched Dispatches from Elsewhere, I kind of thought there were some similarities to the comic kind of things in that show, and also for your character in this one as well. And I really like how you get to be like both vulnerable and funny at the same time in a way.
Thanks.
So I guess that's your thing, maybe.
Well, I think that vulnerability is at the essence of humor. I have never really responded to like bro humor or guys making fun of people. It seems like low-hanging fruit, and it just feels easy and mean. And to me, I've always my acting idol is Kermit the Frog. And I found Kermit the Frog when I was a boy, and then Kermit the Frog opened the door to Tom Hanks and Jimmy Stewart. These guys are all doing the same approach, which is for the next however long this thing is, 30 minutes, an hour and a half if it's a movie, I am you. I use that phrase in Dispatches from Elsewhere a lot. For the next little period, I am you. I am you exploring grief. I am you going through these lessons. And so I think that is inherently vulnerable, is watching someone say like, hey, you sit and relax and enjoy this. I'll do this for us. I'll be you. And here's what happens if your wife has passed away and you're trying to continue on with your life. I think that there's a lot of humor to be found, but there's also safety because someone's doing it on your behalf.
Yeah, and Marshall on How I Met Your Mother, like that's a really funny show. But he has some of those really vulnerable moments in that show as well. And
Yes,
that's
he's like,
one of
I
those
am
sitcoms
you
that
if you lose a tuna sandwich in the couch.
yeah, or on Slapsgiving or
Yes.
yeah. So this show, we obviously need to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is having Harrison Ford being your your sparring, like you get to spar with him.
How
On
about
this.
that,
So,
huh?
yeah. So how about that? Did you get to write any of his dialogue too?
No, I focused mostly. Bill and Brett were very kind to let me kind of have
Your own
free
thing,
reign
yeah.
over my character, and I gave notes on all of the scripts. But I think that Harrison's character is based on a real therapist who Bill knows, and I think that that voice is where it started, and then I think Harrison injected his own voice very quickly. It's funny, you know, when you're trying to write comedy for Harrison Ford, your first instinct is just gruff, you know, that he will be the kind of gruff sounding board. And then very quickly we learned, you've only seen 4 episodes, but as we got to know Harrison, we realized, oh, he's actually goofy. He wants
Yeah.
to play, and people don't give him the chance to. And so as the season progresses, he gets to play more, and he's one of the funniest actors I've ever worked with.
Well, that's a good tease for the rest of
Yeah.
this season. So, did you have like a particular moment working with him on the show that kind of I know you have met tons of like important people throughout your career, but I can't imagine there being like I guess he's still someone that you kind of grew up watching, like a
Yes.
lot of us has.
I think what came very easily in the show and actually works really well is that Jimmy desperately wants Paul's approval, and
Yeah,
Jason Segel desperately wants Harrison Ford's approval. I am doing those
I
scenes
gotcha.
just in the back of my heart, hoping that when they say cut, Harrison Ford says good job. And God damn it, someday it'll happen.
So yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but then. So maybe there's a season 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I know you've been also doing some movies. I saw Windfall as well.
Oh, cool.
And I'm wondering where you kind of feel like you get to like play most, like to get your visions. Where would you like to go, like from here? Now you're doing
Yeah.
this show. Have you anything else, like a movie or TV show coming after this as well that you want to get out there?
Well, I'm on another show as well called Winning Time, which is about the
Yeah.
Lakers on HBO, and so we have another season of that coming out next year. And I've just written something else. I haven't. It's like every 3 or 4 years, I work up the momentum it takes to actually finish writing something. And so I've just finished something else, which I'll try to get made, you know, next year or something like that.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time, and best of luck with the premiere. And hope we get to speak again.
I appreciate you. Hey, thanks. You made my day with dispatches.
Right back at you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.